Hello Simmers, I'm so happy to have you back on the channel. So sorry for the voice, as you may know I've got some kind of flu for the last few days, so yeah, it's going to be a bit bad. So before we go into the proper flying phases and landings, I just wanted to illustrate how you can actually fly the Quasar in very difficult environment like the Grand Canyon. And as you can see here, with a lot of thrust management and spoilers and everything, you can take sharp turns. You can do some pretty good stuff. Even if I need to remember everyone that the Quasar is almost the weight of an Airbus A330. So yeah, in such a smaller aircraft, it's quite dense, and that's why you will lose quite rapidly lift if you take sharp angles with not enough speed, because the air cannot carry such a weight at low speed. So to make this, always make sure to be above 300 knots. That's the minimum. I will recommend even 350 knots. That's the best option in my opinion. And then you can do pretty much whatever you want. If you really master the Quasar, you can almost follow a jet fighter in the canyon. And by the way, that was one of the sequences in the trailer. That was a race between a Quasar and an F-22. So one of the most important things when you fly the Quasar is to use the elevator trim. And I will make a picture of how I've combined it. But as I mentioned in the previous tutorial video, even if you are flying on Xbox with an Xbox controller, which is completely possible, I do it all the time, you need to keep on your elevator trim up and elevator trim down to some keys on your controller, maybe D-pad up or D-pad down. I don't know how your controller is configured, but it's going to make your life so much easier flying the Quasar. It's actually absolutely mandatory. So here, for example, I'm going full thrust with the burners on, and if you don't do anything with the stick, you cannot manage the power the engines are generating only with the stick. So you need to trim down a lot the plane to keep an angle that you find actually suitable for what you are looking for. So here, look at my elevator trim. I'm minus 0.40. And here I'm taking between 20 and 25 angle. And yeah, we are already in space in no time. That's completely normal with the Quasar. But you need to adjust. So because the thrust was insane at the beginning and because the air was dense, I needed to trim a lot. So if you go back on the video, I was at minus 0.5 of trim, and then I reduced it progressively as we climb up and as the air resistance is lower. So space, again, space is not simulated in Flight Simulator, because this is Flight Simulator, this is not Space Simulator. So there is always some kind of air even in space. So now let's say I want to start my descent. What should I do? So first you need your speed brakes out. That's mandatory. That's the only way you are going to be able to slow down the Quasar, with the speed brakes. And then you use again elevator trim, but this time elevator trim down, so the nose of the aircraft is going down, and you can still take an angle, and that's how you start your descent. If you try to apply some pressure on your stick, it will not make pretty much it will make nothing. It will just give some shakes to the aircraft because the speed is too high. So just playing with the elevator trim. That's how you control the Quasar with the high speed. Here I wanted to demonstrate for some of you who have bought the Quasar and who don't know how to read manual, maybe. Yeah, I'm just being sarcastic, but this is what happens, and it's completely normal if you fly too fast, too low, because the air is too dense and the speed is just too high. So you need to go up in altitude to be able to achieve Mach 7.8. That's the top speed of the Quasar. And because we are now in space, we are not talking about turn anymore. We are talking about trajectory. At 5,000 knots, Mach 7.8 in real life, you take a turn, you destroy your aircraft. That's just how it is. Just imagine you are driving on the motorway at 200 miles per hour and you make a big turn on your wheel. What's going to happen? That's exactly the same thing. So let's just assume we cannot turn anymore at this speed. We can just take a trajectory. And maybe you will need the size of Texas to start your turn. But that's how it is. So here we are taking off from Faro, south of Portugal. And as you can see here, I'm going to take a sharp turn. So nothing crazy at the moment, but I'm pulling. And look, I've already made a 180-degree turn. I just went to the opposite direction in no time. So yeah, it's definitely doable. Just manage your speed and your thrust and everything is good. So once you make your turn, you can push the throttles. We are going to follow a flight plan here and reach our cruise altitude of 100,000 feet, and then tries the autopilot. And as you can see, the autopilot cannot keep up with the speed. So make sure to read the caution label on the left of the panel here. Autopilot functions and G3000 airspeed altitude must not be used or trusted above Mach 2 or 50,000 feet. This is just a limitation of the current instrument that are not being able to keep up with the insane speed of the Quasar in the simulator. That's it. So one difficult question with the Quasar is always when I need to start my descent. And here a good thing is to wait for the 200 nautical miles from your destination if you are between 100 and 130,000 feet and start your descent. So the proper procedure is to cut engine 1 and 2 and the electrolyzers left and right. So you will burn a bit of fuel before your arrival, and the lighter the Quasar will be, the easier it will be to stop on the runway. Of course, to slow down the Quasar, you need to activate the spoilers, and when we will reach a lower speed, I will activate the autopilot. So now we are doing 500 knots at 8,000 feet, so it's the perfect time to engage your autopilot. As you can see, the autopilot is following the flight plan, and so if you want to have an automated assisted approach to final and to the runway, you can also catch an ILS. I've never tried it. Usually I fly the Quasar completely manually because for this aircraft I think it's more fun, but you can totally catch an ILS. You can do everything that the G3000 offers. I'm just not an expert in the G3000, and you have really deep videos, deep tutorial on the G3000 on YouTube already, guys. If you want me, I can give you the link in the comments if you want to. But yeah, just type G3000 tutorial in YouTube and you will find amazing tutorials. I'm just not that interested. For the moment, with this aircraft, maybe it will change over time, but yeah, it was just to illustrate that it's actually completely possible. So the approach speed, in my opinion, the best one is 350 knots. Yeah, that's exactly where we are going to land. It's a difficult landing, as you all know, in this place, but I like the challenge. So yeah, approach speed between 300 350 is perfect, and landing speed is going to be between somewhere between 200 250. 220 is the best option in my opinion. Not too slow, not too fast.
So this is what they call a leg day in aviation. Runway contacted. My suspension systems thank you kindly.
I saw a lot of people in the comments, in the various YouTube videos, or in the forums or Discord, worried about how hard the Quasar is actually to land. It's not that hard to land, honestly. It's the difficult part is to stop the Quasar, and to stop it properly, you need to land it properly. So I chose Edwards in California, USA, to do those landings, and we are going to try on different runways with different approaches. Here I'm just taking a turn before the land, so it's not a straight line. It's definitely a bit more difficult, but as you will see, it's completely doable. So the goal is always, when you have your landing gear down, to put the round dots in the middle of the HUD, and this is showing you where the aircraft is going to land. So here you need to adjust the stick, the throttles, everything to make it at the place you want to land the Quasar. So here I'm aiming at the center of the runway. I'm nosing a bit, so giving a bit of away, maybe a bit too much.
Let me book a maintenance appointment.
Here we are going to try on the smaller runway on the left here. So the challenge is going to be greater, and we are going to activate the FACT system. That's this handle on the left I just pulled, and you can see here FACT armed on the CAS warning display system. So what the FACT do is it's going to cut instantly as soon as you touch the runway. It's going to cut all the engines, and because all the engines are cut, the power from the thrust, even at idle, the engine produces a lot of thrust. And if you want to stop on a short runway, you definitely need to activate the FACT system. So once the FACT system is activated, all the engines are going to be shut down on touchdown. By doing this, the stopping distance is going to be much shorter. So that's the final approach. I'm doing 250 knots, and I'm going to reduce to 220, and keeping this round dot in the middle. By the way, I completely forgot, to lower the landing gear, because you should have the 3 position, here on the left of the round dot.
Prepare for a stylish arrival.
Yeah, thank you, Kara. That's going to be a stylish arrival indeed. So this runway is shorter, but I'm pretty sure we are going to make it, to stop it in time. So as you can see, 220 is the perfect speed in my opinion. And let's see. Oh, that was too much. Yeah, I'm floating a bit.
I was expecting applause from the tower. Well done, Captain.
Well, that was not so great. That was a bit brutal. But are we going to stop in time? Yes, easily. See, with the 4-engine shutdown, the stopping distance is a lot shorter. So let's watch the replay. Oh yeah, that was definitely a bit too much. And then the landing. Okay. So once you landed with the fact system engaged, you need to restart your engine. So you need to restart the IPU and the startup procedure. So I believe this was again too easy. So here I'm just trying again because I think the landing was not ideal. So that's just a second try. And yeah, that's definitely much better. All right, I spotted a shorter runway here on the right. So you have seen the first one we did, that was quite a big one. The second one was a bit shorter, but this one is definitely short. So I'm cutting engine 2 and 3, activating the fact system. I have a lot of fuel, but yeah, we will see. This approach was not ideal, honestly. All right, 210.
Thank you for flying Ryanair.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that was
just
a
kidding.
rough
Please
landing.
don't sue me.
It's okay, Kara. I think we are going to make it also. Yeah, look at that. We still have tons of space of runway in front of us. So the record is held by Lottrid himself at the moment. That is 4,250 feet to stop the Quasar on the runway. Good luck with that, guys, and see you soon on the channel. Bye-bye. If you have any question about something I would have forget to mention during the video, please do it in the comments and I will reply as soon as possible. Ciao!